Welcome back on into another episode of the Barbershop. I'm going to tell you today why the Cleveland Browns' biggest need is not defensive tackle, it's wide receiver. And I need to have a receiver that has a great connection with Deshaun Watson. And I need a receiver that has some familiarity with Deshaun Watson. And I need them to be veterans and I need to have a great connection. But with that being said, speaking of connection, what if I told you you didn't have to pay more for an average connection? As a matter of fact, I can get you an upgrade and a great connection for a low monthly price. This barbershop video is in partnership with Mint Mobile. On my channel, I regularly talk about athletes, celebrities, and influencers. For those people, money might not be an issue, but for the everyday person like me and you, it definitely matters. My wife and I scoured the budget to find different things that we could possibly cut back on. And one glaring issue was our cell phone bill. I was spending $300 a month for my old wireless plan. By switching to Mint Mobile, I was able to lower my costs, get the same quality, and save for that new house I wanted. Switch to Mint Mobile. You might already know Mint Mobile if you've seen those funny ads from Ryan Reynolds, who is also an owner. But let me quickly tell you how awesome their service is. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for as low as $15 a month, and you don't have to sacrifice any coverage, speed, or data. Look at these two cell phones. One is from Mint Mobile, the other one is for my old carrier. The only thing that's different between these two phones is the amount I was paying for the old plan. All Mint Mobile plans include unlimited nationwide talk and text, plus lightning fast 5G and free mobile hotspot. Use my link in the description to get premium wireless starting at just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Garrett Bush. Stop paying more than you need to on your wireless bill and start saving big with Mint Mobile. You know, all year last year, I was really a big proponent of defensive tackles. I was a livid. I'm a guy that plays in the trenches. I'm a guy who made my living in the trenches by playing defensive tackle. And there's a couple of things that I saw that was just so infuriating when I looked at it. Was just the bad technique, the horrible fight, the get off, the missed assignments I saw up front, and just a lack of continuity and gap integrity. It was just crazy. I didn't even know what Joe Woods was really doing. Now that Joe Woods is gone and you got Schwartz in here, one of the things that you have to hope for is this. You can't turn over a whole roster in a year. But one thing you can do, and Jim Schwartz has done a good job of this, is coaching up one or two people to figure out if you got something salvageable. The best way to think of it like this is when you go into a home and you're looking at a house that you want to buy, sometimes you look for good bones. You look for a good skeleton, right? You want to see if it's got a good foundation, good basement. Maybe it's in a great location. Maybe it has a roof that just was put in, water heater that was just put in and replaced a couple of years ago. When you got good materials and something to work with, you're able to salvage those places and you're able to say, okay, well, I might not exactly like everything in this house. The basement isn't finished. I don't like the attic, but guess what? They do have some great things and some stuff that I can really maximize on because those things are really good about the house, like a good subfloor. Now, when you compare that to defensive tackles, I think Jim Schwartz will come in and say, look, let me take a look at Perion Winfrey. Maybe Perion Winfrey has a good motor. Maybe he's strong. Maybe I like his get off. Maybe, I could say, well, look, I like his pad level. He doesn't get reach too much. I could work with him. If you can work with a guy potentially like a Perion Winfrey, if you can work with a guy like Alex Wright or Isaiah Thomas at the defensive end position, now you go to the front office and say, look, I know we need a D tackle. How's about going out and get us a Fletcher Cox? How's about going out and get us a 1-year stopgap at the defensive tackle position? Take another defensive tackle in the draft to develop behind him, and hopefully you get something that looks like a guy that is developing into something later on down the line. But the one thing you can't do with defensive linemen is defensive linemen are not going to come in the first year and pay dividends. I mean, Myles Garrett was one of the better defensive ends I've seen ever come out, and he still didn't have an impact like that. Now, defensive tackles is even worse because as a defensive tackle, you're going to already be outmatched in terms of the different schemes that they want to do. You might have to have a guy get stronger. Pad level has to be lower in the league. All these things go into it. So you can't even count on a defensive lineman or defensive tackle coming in and dominating. So you're almost better off going with a one-off at a free agent because you could get a free agent to play better early than you could get a rookie to come right in and start, especially at a position as physical as defensive tackle. So what I'm looking at this situation is saying, hey, work with Perion Winfrey. See if you can salvage anything with Jordan Elliott. If not, sayonara, holla back. Sayonara. He's out of here. If you can't get anything out of him, now you go to a 1-year deal. Go get a 1-year deal, best guy available, maybe 1-2-year deal if they're a little long in the tooth. Then go in the draft and get you a defensive tackle, somebody that you can mold and shape. Now, I say that to say this. My priority is not on D tackle, even though on paper it looks that way. The no-brainer is wide receiver. Because if Deshaun Watson don't have the pieces and parts and tools, why would you get a Ferrari and put regular gas in it? Why would you get a Lamborghini and then have stock tires on it? Why would you like when you get a high price and higher performance, a performance machine, you have to have all the requisite parts that go with it. You got to pay the cost to be the boss. And right now, I hear a lot of cats trying to reverse engineer this situation and talk about, oh, we don't need the racing tires on that. The heck you don't. You got snow tires on this Lamborghini out here. On the Porsche 911, you trying to get standard stock tires. No, that don't work that way. And the Cleveland Browns organization has to understand, you already in it. Right now, we on a Titanic. We all on a Titanic. We hit the iceberg a little bit, but we got an opportunity to patch the boat. Now, one or two things you can do. You can look around and keep letting the band play, and we all gonna sink. Because that would mean that Kevin Stefanski does not make radical changes. They don't make radical changes to the offense. They don't go get him any more weapons that he's familiar with. You're going to go down, sink, and playing with the band. You have an opportunity here. And I actually think that the move that they made to make Alex Van Pelt the offensive coordinator was a brilliant move, right? Because what it did is now Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski, Alex Van Pelt, you know what they feel? They feel that pressure. They feel it. They don't want to get into that situation with Hugh Jackson. Y'all remember before when Hugh Jackson brought in Todd Haley? And Todd Haley and Greg Williams was battling back and forth, jousting over who was going to get the job after Hugh got fired. You see, I'll give these Ivy League folks some credit. When the quarterback's coach went to go get another job, they said, do we want to bring somebody else in here? Do we want to bring somebody else in here that with another voice, another a philosophy? No. If we're going down, we're going down with the guys that's in this room. If we go down, it's going to go down between me, Deshaun Watson, and Alex Van Pelt. So that tells me they are going to do a lot in the offseason that basically gives Deshaun Watson full reign of this offense. And to do that, we don't need no tattletales. We don't need nobody coming in telling us, hey, why you guys are running that? Why would you let Deshaun? If I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down my way. And I think Kevin Stefanski is starting to single that in the way he's moving around. Because you're doing that, you got to already go all the way in. I don't think y'all understand me now. This isn't a one. We are not in a position where we're doing 4 to 5 year stuff. Where listen, I'm not worried about conserving resources for the guy that come take my job. I'm gonna go. Listen, guess what? I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna make sure the cupboard is bare because I'm gonna make sure that I give myself the best opportunity to win football games and to do it in a hurry. Because he don't have the luxury talking about, well, we want to look out for the long-term viability of the program. Who cares about that? Long-term viability, you'll be gone in 6 games if you don't get Deshaun Watson to play well. So me, DeAndre Hopkins, as you see at the bottom of the screen, Brandin Cooks, those are two definite options. And if you ask me, I want DeAndre Hopkins. People say, you guys are always name chasing. No. I'm chasing people that put numbers on the board. I'm chasing greatness. I'm chasing people who know how to catch the ball. You tell me who you want, Anthony Schwartz or DeAndre Hopkins, catching with a ball in the air, ready to go to the AFC Championship game and pull it down in some cold weather. Who you got? Do you want Donovan Peoples-Jones or DeAndre Hopkins on a 3rd down and 5 with everything on the line to move the chains? I digress. At the end of the day, our job isn't here to babysit young guys. It's now, the fierce urgency of today. And I'm telling you this right now. I'm going to go on record and say it. If the Browns get Deshaun Watson, a top flight receiver, he will be a dark horse candidate for MVP. I'll repeat that. I will repeat that. If the Browns go out and get Deshaun Watson, a top flight receiver, to add to Donovan Peoples-Jones, to add to David Njoku, to add to Amari Cooper, to add to the running game of Nick Chubb, Deshaun Watson will be a dark horse candidate for MVP. Because now you have tacticians out there. Now you have Amari Cooper, who now you can't double up like that. You got another guy who you can't really double up like that. You got to respect us all the way around. And I'm telling them, the time is now. You have to go for it when the iron is hot. And understand this. Defense is not going to win you no games against Patrick Mahomes. I repeat that. Your D ain't going to win you nothing against Patrick Mahomes. He don't care who you got out there. If you ain't putting no points up, if you don't outscore that man, ask Jalen Hurts how you feel about that. He sat on that sideline and looked at him take that game the same way we all did. So you have to understand that, yes, you do have to have a defense. You do need takeaways, and you do need them to show up. But more than anything, if you're going to beat 2 out of 3 of these teams, being the Buffalo Bills, being the Cincinnati Bengals, who are in the AFC North, being the Kansas City Chiefs, you better be able to put points on the board. And I feel confident that Deshaun Watson will be able to do that at a high level with one more receiver. I'm just saying. You agree with me? You don't agree with me? Put it in the comment section. Make sure you follow me at gbush91. Make sure you hit that notification bell, subscribe to the channel so you know when all the videos are coming out. We'll continue to do that. And coming up, we got to talk about this as well, too. We're going to get into a lot more in this offseason when it comes to this NFL draft, free agency as well. And I'm going to do another video with some film work. I'm going to break down some film work for y'all to show who was doing something in all 22 and who wasn't. As always, it's the Barbershop. Peace.